Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is Marketing 110. I'm very happy today to have Sophia Lovasz with us. And let me tell you a little bit about Sophia first. Sophia is the founder and CEO of Simply Visibility, where she helps students, employees, and entrepreneurs use social media to attract opportunities that they don't have to chase. She believes that finding your voice is the key to unlocking your value and building credibility in your community and industry. She has spent the last 20 years as a retail leader for Follett Higher Education, where she currently runs the Sun Devil Marketplace at the ASU campus. She also serves as a venture mentor in various programs, including the J. Orrin Edson Entrepreneurship and Innovation Institute and the local first AZ We Rise Accelerator program for Black entrepreneurs, as well as a venture coach for the YLAI alumni program. When she isn't edutaining audiences in social media, she's either taking rides in Waymos, spending time with her family, gardening, reading, or working on puzzles. So join us today as we learn about Sophia's career. And Sophia, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, I'd love to just understand. It seems like you got a lot going on. So like, if you would just tell us, maybe just to kick it off, like what's the average day for you like?
Yeah, so my average day, I have a 9 to 5 running a college store at the ASU campus. And this store, you guys know college stores, they sell textbooks and spirit merchandise. Well, this particular location doesn't sell textbooks. And it's a 30,000 square foot department store. We have a wine bar, we have a convenience store, we have an events business, in addition to selling clothing, gifts, and technology. So what that allows me to do is get out more in the community to raise awareness about our store, but more so to connect with people so that we are top of mind when they need something. And that's literally what marketing is all about.
That's great. So how did you, I guess, a lot of the questions I think we'll probably ask about your own venture, and maybe if you could tell us a bit more about your own about Simply Visibility.
Yeah, so about 6 years ago, I was kind of sick of retail, and people are always asking me for advice about their business. So I started charging them for the advice, and I started an LLC, and it primarily focused on business consulting, operations focused. And what I found was that people didn't listen to what I was saying. They were very stuck in their ways, and the way I looked made them uncomfortable. They felt like I was too young to give them advice, even though they came to me. And I wasn't finding that very impactful. So during COVID, I decided that I needed to be more visible online. And I joined a group where we got to practice being on video, which was super scary at the time. And but then we all provided each other feedback, and I became very comfortable on camera during that time. And I pivoted my company to help other people be comfortable on camera. But the other thing that happened was that 40 days before I turned 40, I posted one video a day telling a story. And this was very scary for me, but I posted it online on my Instagram and YouTube. And that gave me the momentum to show up more often and to be more comfortable just creating an audience and being visible online. And that's what my company focuses on. It teaches people how to use LinkedIn to build credibility and authority. And in doing so, it has attracted so many brand opportunities to me. I sell nothing on LinkedIn, but all the opportunities come to me.
Why LinkedIn?
Yeah, so LinkedIn used to be the job searching platform. People only used that when they were looking for a job. And when they came out with video, it kind of changed the platform a little bit. People were upset with Facebook, and they were looking for an outlet for their creativity. So they didn't want to get on Instagram, and there's all these like generational differences between who uses what type of platform. But on LinkedIn, everybody's there. So so first and foremost, everyone's on LinkedIn. Number two, the people who are educated, the people who are looking for services, those decision makers are all on LinkedIn as well. And when they came out with video for you to be able to post videos, nobody was doing that. And it created a lot of opportunity for content creators to really shine really quickly. It is still the #1 platform where you can make a name for yourself at a very accelerated rate, because YouTube and Instagram are saturated and it just takes a little bit more time to be established. Over 750 million people have a LinkedIn account and less than 1% are active on there. So this is the time for you to show up on there.
One of the key things you mentioned is there's decision makers on LinkedIn. So if you want to network with them, yeah, that's like the place to meet them.
Oh, absolutely. No place else do you have access to experts and CEOs, decision makers, entrepreneurs, creators. There's nowhere else where you have that type of access, and they're willing to give you free value.
Perfect. Okay. How do you, I guess for your company like Simply Visibility, how do you go about growing the business, getting a client, things like that?
Yeah. So unintentionally getting involved in the community and speaking the way that I do, people started asking me, well, can you teach that to me? And it's like, well, matter of fact, I have this company, go on my website, book some time with me. And the word of mouth just started to spread. I actually have not intentionally marketed Simply Visibility. My presence on social media sells my company. People see the videos that I post on LinkedIn or on Instagram, and they come to me, brands come to me and they say, can you make videos for us too? And, or they see my activity on LinkedIn, not specifically just the videos that I make that are fun, but my talks about personal development or leadership or my lessons. And they too want to know how they can show up on LinkedIn as well. And through that, I direct them to Simply Visibility, where I take care of them and they book calls with me or one-on-one time.
Perfect. All right, so I want to go to a couple of questions that I sent you. So, and I think some of this kind of relates to like safety and kind of, how do you grow your business? How do you share your information, what you're doing, and then, but also, how do you do that safely? So like that's one of the things I think is really important, and a lot of students have questions on that. 75% of my class generally is women, so I guess it would be interesting to hear from your perspective. So as a business owner and known professional, how much about yourself do you want to expose? And then some of the specifics, do you show your family, location, things like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the difference between privacy and just being, what's the word I'm looking for? Damn, I say this all the time and I can't think of it right now. But yes, showing up online in a visual way is a little bit scary. You have to be intentional about what you want to show. What I found was that when I first started, I was trying to share leadership tips in a very dry, corporate-y way, and it wasn't resonating with people. In fact, most people show up online with a fake mask, with this professional mask. And since most people show up that way, there's nothing unique about them that stands out. When I started sharing my personal stories, that was when I was able to get my messages to resonate with people. Other people would speak up and they would say, wow, that's really courageous of you. Not often do you hear people say that they're ashamed of their heritage. I was very much ashamed of being Haitian American, growing up in an immigrant household in America and trying to balance the expectations of being American while also being Haitian. And so I just hid the whole Haitian part of me for a large part of my life. Only within the last 5 or 6 years am I out and proud and, not ashamed anymore. And when I started talking about that, that resonated with a lot of students. It resonated with a lot of adults, and it seeps into other aspects of your life. So being vulnerable is actually a superpower, especially online. And you don't have to be private. There is a difference. You don't need to tell people your home address. They don't need to know how many kids you have if you're not comfortable with that, or your kids' names. There's certain things that you can still keep private. And that was what I was trying to say earlier. Personal and private are two different things. If you're able to become a little bit personal, vulnerable in your storytelling, then that will attract people who have similar experiences, and they'll be more ready to listen to your message.
Perfect. Next question is more about like growing your awareness and platforms of choice. So I'd like to know about you, I guess, as far as your personal profile, and you can talk also about your either of your businesses, your company you work for, any of those. But like, if you could tell us about like strategically some of the platforms, some of the social media channels you've chosen and why. And feel free, Sophia, if you'd like to share your screen, please feel free to.
Yeah. So when I started on LinkedIn, In 2020, before the pandemic, I had 500 followers on LinkedIn, 500 connections. And when I started to get intentional with showing up using video, within 6 months, I grew that account to 6,000 followers and connections as well. What I learned was that no matter the platform, showing up consistently is the only way for people to, and I'm trying to find the screen that I want to share, for people to understand who you are. So specifically with LinkedIn, your profile page is really, really important. You're going to be, if you decide to be intentional with LinkedIn, contributing to conversations and driving conversations, and people are going to be very curious about you. So your profile has to be maximized. So people know who you are and what services you offer when they get curious enough to click on your name. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick.
Perfect.
To show you just a couple of basics about LinkedIn.
Great.
How you want to prepare this. And please excuse all my tabs that are opened here. Okay, so let's take this one out. Are you guys looking at my LinkedIn screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right, perfect. So on my homepage, what you'll find first is this banner right here. A lot of people on LinkedIn do not take advantage of this free advertising space right here. How I created it was using a free tool called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. I'm not a marketing person, and as far as a digital creator, I don't know how to make things. I don't know how to use Adobe Photoshop. But this is a very templatized software that's available for free online. And I was able to create this background here. Most people should use this for their business. I don't use it for my business because I try to practice the art of selling without selling. My style to selling my services is for me to be visible and top of mind with the advice that I give. And then when you realize that you need help with something, you'll think of me and you'll come to me. But if you wanted to advertise your business, this is the space where you should do that. First thing that people should see when they come to your page. You also need to have a profile picture that, I would say, speaks to your personality. A lot of people told me in the beginning that this was very unprofessional, but the truth is I sell this merchandise in my store and it does drive traffic to our websites. It also showcases my personality. I am fun and goofy and I mean, this is who I am. So this is who I show up to be online. Your headline area also needs to be filled out. There's several different approaches to this. You can use what I like to call the XYZ formula, where you say what you do, who you help, and what impact you provide. So if I were to use the XYZ formula over here, it would look something like, I help students build credibility using LinkedIn so they can attract opportunities to them. Something very simple. And it takes a while to come up with that kind of clarity around what your business does to be able to say it in 2 sentences. So what you should think about is when someone asks you, what do you do? Are you talking in paragraphs or are you able to say in 2 sentences what you do? The XYZ formula can help you formulate that in 2 sentences. That should go over here in the headline. If you want to optimize from an SEO standpoint, what keywords people are searching, that's what you would put here. So for me, I want brands to hire me to create content for them. So I use keywords in my headline instead of the XYZ formula. So I have content creator, and this is how a lot of recruiters have found me. They search content creator on Google and my LinkedIn page will come up. I also put in there that I have 20 years retail operations experience because I do offer consulting services as well. So this is how my consulting services are found as well. People are searching for people with experience. The word leader especially helps. I'm also a status quo disruptor in the sense that I'm a change agent. So when companies are looking for consulting on how they can implement change at scale, my profile comes up as well. So this is something, and then I made it fun because I'm always curious in case Google ever wants to hire me. They like curious people. So I threw that in there. But hopefully you can understand what I'm saying here. Filling out your LinkedIn profile is really important because It is optimized on Google searches. So as many keywords as you can fit in here as possible will help you be found. And then
Sophia,
just
quick question for you. So one of the things that I've noticed a lot of our students have is it basically they'll because one of their assignments is to create a LinkedIn profile, and a lot of them will just put student at Phoenix College. What do you think about that as far as a title or headline?
I would suggest that we get more creative. Like, what are you doing at Phoenix College? What are you learning about? What are you interested in getting into? Who do you want to meet? So you could say something like future dentist or future AI specialist, right? Put your future job in there and just put future in front of it. The reason why you want to do this is because recruiters are already searching those keywords and your profile will still come up. And if they have internships available or entry-level positions available, they'll see from your experience that you're still a student, but they'll be able to see from your headline, which is what's going to come up first, that you are looking to get into those specific job roles.
Yeah, I love that. I think that putting like who you are as a person and like what you're going to be, and not necessarily, a lot of folks are working a just kind of a regular job. They may be working at a restaurant, things like that. So basically, if you just put that in your title, it kind of limits you as far as like who you're going to be. So I like that in your bio. You don't just say, oh, full it, your title there. You put more about who you are as a person.
Yeah, and it really depends. Like if I was looking to get promoted within my company, my headline would be completely different. It would be more focused on future, like vice president of operations or, something like that. But your about section will also help round out that story, especially as a student. Put in there your story and try not to be boring about it. Everybody's going to put in their about section the same information that's on their resume, and that is a mistake. You should tell your story in your about section. And your about section is going to change constantly. Mine is I'm always updating my about section. So especially from a student standpoint, you have an opportunity to stand out here. Talk about any leadership roles that you had in clubs. Talk about the difficult journey it took to get to the university that you're at. Talk about how many times you changed your major because you're just so curious and you're into different subjects. I'm telling you right now, I don't see a lot of that, and that's why you're going to stand out.
I love it. Oh, quick question, Sophia. Sorry. Would you go back? I was curious. I love the video. Could you just talk about the video that you put there?
So this video right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So LinkedIn, if you change your account to creator mode, then you have the ability to do a couple of things. One is list your services. Two, you can have 5 hashtags that you want to be known in, whatever space that is. So these are the spaces that I want to be known in with my hashtags. And the third thing is it allows you to create a video profile. So this video profile, you get 30 seconds, I believe, to record something about yourself. This is a great opportunity to pronounce your name so that people know how to say your name and to show a little bit of your personality. So mine, I think that's what it does. I haven't seen this in a while. I hope it plays. No, it's not playing. Oh, there it goes. View profile video. Sac passe. My name is Sophia Lovasz, and that was What's Up in Creole. Welcome to my office at the retail store that I run. I like to post fun, uplifting videos. You'll also see videos of me and product that we sell. I'm very interested in teaching people about the entrepreneurial mindset as an approach to problem solving. So my involvement in the ASU Venture Devil community is not by accident. I'm a venture mentor for students. Reach out to me for partnerships on how we can build bridges in the community. This profile video has attracted several paid speaking gigs for me. People resonated with the community message and they were like, can you come speak at our event? And speaker isn't even one of the things that I was selling as a digital creator and as a trainer, but it is now. So that is a great opportunity for students to talk about what type of work they're looking to get into. A lot of people are not taking advantage of this feature either.
How difficult is it for folks to be able to become a creator?
It's not difficult at all. So I just want to say, because I hear this excuse a lot, I recorded that video on an iPhone 5S. I since upgraded to an XR, where this is what records all of my videos. Every single video that you guys see on all my platforms, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. It has attracted all kinds of brands to me. I recently just met with the CEO of the Google self-driving project, Waymo. And you guys will soon see a video about that if you're following me. All on this cell phone, like no fancy equipment.
Which
That
one is it?
And a ring light, this ring light right here.
Which phone was it?
This is an XR. And
Okay.
I'm also not a video editor whatsoever. I don't know how to use editing tools. The only tools I know how to use are within the Instagram or TikTok app.
Gotcha. Okay.
Also, I just want to say that I turned 42 this year, and I just really feel like there's no excuse for why people can't just pick up the phone and use the video on their phone. There's no excuse because I'm old.
No, that's great. That's great. Yeah, no, I love this. And then one of the things I'm going to share with them, Sophia, is I know you have a whole tutorial on setting up the LinkedIn properly. So I got that video, that YouTube video. I'm going to share it with the students as well. And I'll give them the timestamp that you mentioned as well, so that they can kind of go to the next level with their LinkedIn. But I think that was a great introduction for yours. Any other your content that you want to share is like how you chose it could be other profiles outside of LinkedIn as well.
So we talked about LinkedIn at length. Basically showing up consistently and having a cadence for joining conversations is what's going to increase your credibility with an audience. On Instagram and TikTok, it's slightly different. Those are very algorithmic driven. And what that means is that you have to show up on there pretty often for the algorithm to pick up on you, to trust you that you will cause people to use the apps longer. LinkedIn is a little bit different from that. So specifically on TikTok, I was sitting at about 1,000 followers for a while, and I'm trying to bring up my account right now. And I was doing all types of mixed things on there. I was showing my garden, I was showing funny videos, cooking videos, I was doing all types of things. And
if schools are allowed to teach gender.
Sorry, I'm trying to pause that.
No, I know TikTok just starts playing. Yeah.
Elementary children.
Oh, what is going on here? Okay. Trying to go to my profile so I could share my profile here. Okay. And when I started posting the self-driving experience, that was when my account started to grow. So I started to experiment. I created 3 other TikTok accounts so that I could, are you guys looking at my TikTok page right now?
It says Honeybook.
Oh, it's the wrong one, sorry. Let me get the right screen.
Yeah.
But I created 3 other TikTok accounts so that I could start experimenting on how TikTok works. And on those accounts, I did very different things. But basically what I learned was showing up on there in the beginning, doing 3 videos a day can accelerate your growth, but it can't drive business for you because you're kind of getting like randos. So what happened to me on my main account for Waymo, I deleted everything that had nothing to do with cars, and I solely focused on self-driving cars. So I somehow became an influencer in this space. There's not a lot of people posting these types of experiences, not on TikTok at least. And there aren't any Black girls talking about this kind of stuff either. Sorry to be so blunt about it. And that got the attention of Waymo. So their marketing department started reaching out to me, and we started partnering on a lot of different things. And that's what led to this opportunity where I just met the CEO as well. And let me just make sure I'm sharing the right screen this time. Okay. Now are you looking at my TikTok?
Yes.
Okay. So what started to happen here is, again, consistency is the key to any platform. On here, I post about 2 to 3 times a day. I try to spend my Saturdays bulk creating. So what that means is I document every single ride that I take. And so I just have all these 30-second clips of videos on my phone. And then I go into the app and I choose a song. And then I try to sync the song with different things that happen throughout the videos. what I've learned is if you start off with something like a hook, those are the videos that tend to go viral. I have a video right now that's currently going viral. It's this one with the 14.7K.
Yep.
What people like, what I'm learning is they like to hear my voice. So for a while it was working that I wasn't speaking in these videos and that I was just showing the car turning its wheel with a trending song. But that started to not work anymore. And I found that when people can hear my voice, that was what they were looking for more of. So in this video, I have no music. Oh my God. It almost hit that sign. And the conversations that are happening from those types of things. I started posting more shocking videos. I started showing that the Waymo's not always smooth because people think that I'm paid to post these videos. I'm not paid. But what I am doing is I'm intentionally creating a digital creative portfolio because brands are able to see that I am able to grow an audience and I'm able to keep them engaged. So even though no car company has hired me to make car videos for them, I've gotten makeup companies that want me to make videos for them. I've gotten other marketing companies that consult with me on how to build other people's audiences because I was able to prove that I could build an audience for a very specific account.
That's great. That's great. And so it sounds like the way that you really grew this channel is like kind of by narrowing in, finding your focus, and then really just executing on that.
Yes, I have my Instagram page, which has the least amount of followers, and that's because I just simply don't have time to be intentional on more than, like, LinkedIn is hard enough, TikTok is hard enough, and now on my Instagram page as well. And I have several Instagram pages, including one for the business, this store that I run. So if you have a team of people that can help you with this, that's great. On TikTok, being very niche is more helpful. And then I use that to drive traffic to my Instagram, where I post something completely different. On my Instagram account, you're going to see more of the fun side of me, the more unprofessional side of me, because I'm also a wannabe actress.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let me ask a couple of student questions. So Michael, I know we have you on there. If you want to ask yours, just let me know and I'll get you on. Just send me a message. And then let me see. Let me ask some questions. I've got, see what kind of goes in line here. Okay, here's a good one from Michelle. So what were some of the hardships you faced while trying to start your own business?
I'm not a salesperson. I mean, we're all salespeople at the end of the day, but the person who knocks on doors and does cold calls, that is not me. I'm actually an introvert, and having to go after money and asking for money from people makes me very uncomfortable. So it was one thing when one person said, "Hey, I'd be willing to pay you for some consulting services." And it's like, "Oh, great, let me quit my 9 to 5 and I'll just do this full time." And it turns out that I wasn't willing to go out there and get the business in that traditional sense. And so it stalled, and I'm so glad I didn't quit my 9 to 5, you know? So that was a hardship for me to overcome. And I find that in the venture space, a lot of founders also have a hard time with that. They create a product and they don't know how to sell it to people. They're not willing to get in front of people. And recognizing that your strengths and your opportunities and going out and finding the person who can do that for you will be very helpful. Turns out that was my husband.
Ah, okay. So here's another question from Mirka. She asks, is there anything people think that they're doing that presents themselves professionally on social media, but in actuality, it really isn't as effective as they want it to be?
Yeah, when we talk about branding and how you want to appear to people, it's not so much what your logo is or what your colors are, more so the impact that people have when they think of you. And so a lot of people don't realize that when they're leaving negative comments on other people's pages, or when they're sharing something that doesn't really align with their brand message, that negatively can impact your business. So, and sometimes businesses do that intentionally. They want people to know their political stance on something, for example. They're looking for a very specific audience, in fact. But that is something to consider if you're going to be a public figure for your business, that a lot of your online activity might not align with the brand impact that you were going for.
Another question I had was, what are any piece of information or information about yourself or your company you would advise small business owners to keep off of the internet? Like you mentioned negative comments. Is there anything else that you suggest to potentially to avoid?
Yeah, that's a good question. To keep off the internet. Well, I say there's a difference between getting personal and sharing private information. I think it's very dangerous to show too much of yourself. I think people might think that I'm doing that if you looked at my Instagram account, because sometimes there's family photos in there as well, because that's my personal page and that's how I choose to use Instagram. But what I don't have on there is my business information or my business things. It does lead to my LinkedIn account. But yeah, I always tell people that there's a difference between personal and private. And if it's about you specifically, and it's a story that will help people understand what you do, you can share that. But if it's private information, like how many bank accounts you have, people don't need to know that. Especially right now, people are talking about the crypto space and what kind of crypto they own. You want to be careful. There's a lot of scams out there. Where you live, where you shop, you're giving out a lot of clues to people. The Waymo videos that I post I would say are kind of dangerous. Lately, I've been thinking about how people can figure out what neighborhood I live in, because I do have a lot of DMs of creepy creepers. That comes with the territory. The more followers you have, the more weirdos come out of the work. The more trolls you'll have also. It's a sign of the success. So you do kind of want to be careful about what kind of private information you're sharing. People don't need to know everything about you because they can and will do crazy things. Identity theft, stalking. So just keep that in mind, the information that you're sharing, whether it's personal or private.
Makes sense. No, good to hear. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. So let's see what other question I can ask you. Oh yeah, for you, what metrics are the most important for you?
Oh yeah, on TikTok, watch time is really important. If you post a video that's longer than 8 seconds, you want to see which ones we're doing better. For me, it's the sweet spot is between 8 and 15 seconds. My most viral videos were shorter than 20 seconds. And the reason why that's important is because I'm still trying to grow the audience before I try to monetize on them. I am monetizing on TikTok, but not in the sense where I'm able to drive traffic for my business. And so you want to be mindful of the analytics when it comes to TikTok so that you're creating videos that kind of fall within the realm of what was successful. The other thing that I look for is specifically on LinkedIn, the viewers. I have the premium account, so that gives you a little bit more information on who is looking at your profile. After I went viral on LinkedIn for one of my Waymo videos, a lot of people from Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon started following me, and they started viewing a lot of my posts. I never would have known that if I wasn't paying attention to those analytics. In knowing so, I can create posts that are targeting those types of people, because obviously I would love for them to reach out to me to make videos for them or to consult on marketing with them. So I purposely, intentionally sometimes create videos that I know will attract those types of people. But I wouldn't know that if I wasn't looking at my analytics.
That's excellent. So yeah, watch time on TikTok, viewers on LinkedIn, and kind of specifically who are those viewers?
Yes.
Like you said earlier, decision makers are on there. So you can actually create a piece of content or a video that's going after like a specific person. You're hoping that person will watch that.
Yeah, and it creates warm leads too, because when I do reach out to people in DMs, I know it's somebody that was already watching my material. They've been following me for a while, and it's not as intimidating to me to reach out to them and start a relationship before having an ask.
Got it. Okay. I want to ask you a couple questions about videos or the content creation process. So regarding your videos, can you describe your process for developing a video? How much time does it take you to make one of your TikTok videos, for example?
Okay. So I approach video creation two ways. One, I'm just inspired by the moment and I whip out my camera and I record. Um, a lot of the stuff that I share on LinkedIn, it happens that way. The other side, specifically with TikTok, because I'm growing that intently, I try to bulk create as many videos as I can on the weekends. Social media is very time consuming. TikTok was designed for it to be very addictive. I spend a lot of time scrolling on there looking for trending sounds and then getting sucked into the app 3 hours later. I didn't find any trending sounds, right? So it's important to understand that you need to create boundaries and you need to schedule time to research, which might suck you into it, you know? So I look for trending sounds. I have over 100 favorited sounds on TikTok, and then over 100 favorited clips and sounds on Instagram, same thing. And I have the Notes app on my phone. And every time I come across a sound that I like or a video that someone did that I'm inspired by, I take notes on how I would use that song or that sound in a video. And I put it in my Notes app. I have hundreds of notes for ideas. I never run out of ideas because of that. If I'm just in a day where I'm like, I don't feel like it, then I'll just repurpose content that I used already. And that works really well as well, because you always have new people who've never seen your stuff before. So don't be afraid to repurpose content. So basically on the weekends, I try to bulk create as much as I can. When I did the 40 videos, one video a day for 40 days, I did 20 videos in one weekend and another 20 videos in another weekend. So, and actually I created 25 so that I had some to choose from in case some were too personal. But that's what you want to do. You want to prepare as much as possible. You want to bulk create as much as possible and save it in the app.
That's great. Very good. Another question. Yeah, so this is also a good one. So, can you share any tips on how we can find our voice when using social media? So yeah, let me give you a little bit more context. A lot of the students themselves are creating fictional businesses as part of their classwork, and they're posting content on their channels, and they're trying to create engagement, video views, things like that. So yeah, how do you find your voice when you're doing this?
Yeah, you really have to practice. I actually don't like my own voice, my physical voice, but who I am was something that I had to come to terms with. I mentioned earlier that only a couple of years ago did I start to step into who I really am and own my heritage and be proud of it. And so a lot of that work starts internally with owning your identity. And once you're able to say you own your identity, all your flaws, you're able to tell your stories without shame and understand that other people probably would resonate with your mistakes as well and learn from them. That is where you start to begin to find a voice. So I have no problem now sharing that I had a baby when I was 18 years old, right? Because that was a very shameful thing to me. I was the black sheep of the family. I was the only girl, the oldest of 5 kids, immigrant family. It was the most shameful thing ever, right? So I was super ashamed of that. I tell that story all the time. I was a straight D student in high school because I was an athlete. I played the role of the comedic athlete, and I had horrible grades. And I failed the SATs many, many times, right? Horrible student. Well, I tell students these stories because they are filled with so much guilt and shame, and they think that they're just not going to make it in life. Well, look at me. I'm fine, right? So once I really owned those stories that I was ashamed of, that I was afraid of people finding out about me and telling them myself, that was where I was able to start building a voice. You are all filled with experiences that need to be told. All of you have stories that need to be told because a lot of people are waiting for you to show up. So it starts with a lot of inner work. But once you're able to do that, once you're able to tell those embarrassing stories, that's where you find your voice.
That's great. Very good tips. I do want to, just for the sake of everyone's time, I do want to wrap up. But however, I do just want to ask one last question of Sophia, just for any kind of guidance, any kind of final tips you have for students as they go into their careers. Basically, a lot of them are finishing a degree sometime soon from Phoenix College. Some of them will be going into the workforce directly. Some of them will be looking for jobs in social media or marketing. Some of them will be getting social media certificates. from Phoenix College, and others will be going to ASU and hopefully shopping with you down there. And so anyway, any final tips that you might have for them as they finish up their college career?
First and foremost, if you're not already on LinkedIn, please get on LinkedIn. What you want to do is create a profile and start contributing to conversations. Follow people in the industries that you're interested in. Look up hashtags in the industry that you're interested in and follow those hashtags. What you want to do is create a feed that is giving you a lot of value and start contributing to the conversations. And what I mean by that is leave comments on these posts. Posts from influencers that you like in the industry, follow CEOs that are active on LinkedIn, look for names of people who work in places that you want to work in, or just look up those places and follow the people who work in them. Because when you show up online and you leave comments on their posts, they're going to start to recognize you after a while. And then you'll be able to connect with them because they know you from the conversations that you're having in the comment section. I can't tell you enough how most jobs are obtained through networking more than applying from the actual application process. And this is the best way to do this. You will also be able to build a portfolio of your own. Those of you in social media who are getting your certificate and that's what you want to do, using social media is your social proof that you know what you're doing. I didn't specifically go into social media marketing, and yet that's what is being attracted to me because of my activities online. So my piece of advice is to get active on LinkedIn now, if you're not already.
That's great. Sophia, I really appreciate you being part of the class and sharing your experiences and your advice. So thank you so much. And I will be sharing those resources with the students as well.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Thank you.